So good morning, everyone. It is my honor to welcome Mr. Manoj Sinha as our first keynote speaker of the Harvard U.S.-India Initiative Conference. Mr. Sinha, thank you so much for graciously delivering a keynote address to our delegates. I'm going to begin with a brief introduction, after which Mr. Sinha will deliver his address. We will then have a Q&A session for sustainable development. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Manoj Sinha.
Organizers of the Harvard US-India Initiative, dear friends, though belated, but let me first of all wish each one of you a happy, safe, and most importantly, prosperous New Year. I am truly delighted to be amongst you. First, let me start by congratulating you for completing 10 successful years of HUII. It is a platform I truly value and find immensely enriching. It has been a nursing ground for new ideas and host to both relevant and powerful voices. I feel most alive and inspired amongst the students because you truly are the leaders of now, building a brighter future, and it is in you I repose my hope, trust, and faith that with your bright minds and clear stream of reason, you will truly leave this planet better than we found it. There could not have been better time for an interaction with the young delegates and the students from all over the world joining through virtual mode. 2021 is soaking us with much hope, fresh enthusiasm, and renewed energy. I know we all want to forget 2020 for unleashing one of the worst human tragedy. But as an optimistic student of politics, I believe the young talent pool carrying immense knowledge, wisdom, and energy is going to build a new future brick by brick. Ancient Indian teacher and economist Chanakya used to say, the world's biggest power is youth, and India, with more than 50% of its population below the age of 25 and more than 65% below the age of 35, is not only hope for the globe but also a crucial growth driver in the post-COVID world. Friends, there is a Free Child Institute in Washington, D.C., which I think is about 7 hours drive from Harvard. They have a tagline, "Why should youth change the world?" This was the same question that came to my mind when I was an engineering student at the Banaras Hindu University. I had never imagined that I would enter politics. As a student of engineering, my world was confined to jack and bore. But let me tell you, our generation was faced with the stiff hurdle of another kind. As a great admirer of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, one of the greatest educationist, reformer, politician, and the founder of the Banaras Hindu University, I was pained and hurt witnessing misguided elements within the university ruling the roost. It was desire of accountability, transparency, equal opportunity, and right to assess justice for all with equity is what set me on the path that I have followed in my life. Above all, passion to serve my people, my country as an Indian comes first. One fine day I decided to join student politics. I can tell you from my own experience that we need to bring the change we want and wait for others to do that. When I became the president of Banaras Hindu University Students Union in 1982, we tried to change the inner core of the education system which Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, who is also fondly addressed as Mahamana, has dreamed of. We fought for restoring the glory of the university because Mahamana used to say, let righteousness and dharma prevail and all communities and societies progress. Mahamna promoted a harmonious blend of Oriental and modern education, which has now been adopted in India's new national education policy. My young friends, I believe our evolution in student days passes through three most crucial stages: action, revolution, and reform. This is what happened during my student politics days too. A combined effort of all of us in the student union not only brought peace on the campus but helped trigger a change in the lives of thousands of students. I must tell you, the youth power shapes the structure of a society. Only you are blessed with the power to build character, raise moral strength, and intellectual prowess for a better civilization. Friends, you are not in the university or in the college to follow the conventional wisdom or a crowd. You are there to realize who you are and what you want. Be yourself. Your knowledge is about creating a new vision of life. Let me tell you about Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. He belonged to a humble family. Pandit Malviya overpowered economic inequality rather than allowing inequality to pull him down in his life. He was a great visionary who realized the potential of education to build a strong nation before the advent of the 20th century. It is equally important to understand that because of Mahamana, the country had a first and strong industrial policy despite devastation caused by the British rule. Besides his contribution in setting up the Engineering College of Banaras Hindu University, Mahamana played a major role in revival of three important sectors: textile industry, iron industry, and shipping industry. On one hand, he was nurturing students and interested in engineering, and on the other, the future of Indian industry. Mahamana knew that the revolution in both sectors, the education and the industry, was absolutely necessary to change the essential core of India. And it was alchemical. A new generation was born. In order to truly understand the real revolution, let us look at the numbers of engineers and scientists working abroad. According to American National Science Foundation report of 2016, Indian immigrant scientists and engineers in the United States were 5.2 million. Today, the number, I am sure, would be much higher. Similarly, India exports engineers, doctors, and scientists to other countries as well, and their contribution to humankind is immense. Even the current US administration has around 20 Indian Americans. It gives a peep into structural changes that took place within the country post-independence. Friends, when I look today's young generation, I find four remarkable qualities that are spontaneity, leadership quality, adaptability, and capability. If today's young generation worldwide has grasped the soul of the new civilization, it is because of their new ideas, new innovations, and quest for doing something extraordinary. You may have heard the story of Nachiketa and Yam, the Lord of Death. In the Katha Upanishad, the young boy was not satisfied with the material gifts Yamraj would offer to him in lieu of not insisting for a reply to a query. You know why? Nachiketa insisted he shall be happy only if he gets an answer to a mystery, what comes after death. Even the gods have doubts. Yamraj quipped, thought he was in Nachiketa's search for truth. This story of inquisitive Indian echoes in the growth of Indian IT, medical, artificial intelligence, and new innovation. Friends, you are the most aware being on this planet, pregnant with the potential to awaken humanity. It is this call that entrusts a bounden duty on you to persuade errant youth lost in conflicts and other disruptive activities world over to come back to mainstream. I know you can't do that. I know you can do that jointly and severely. that they would mark another unrealized dimension of youth potential. I believe providing the right opportunity, utilizing the true potential of the people is the utmost duty of decision makers. Benjamin Franklin used to say, and I quote, "When men are implied, they are best contented." And these are those times in the life of India where opportunities are in plenty. I sincerely believe India, with a huge young talented population, friendly ecosystem, and the trust we have managed to build that we can deliver on promises, has allowed the nation to emerge as the popular destination for global entrepreneurs and corporates. It is also due to the emerging geopolitical situation, which are burdened with the legacy of uncertainty borrowed from happenings of 2020 and years before that. Ample scope exists for engagements with countries and multinationals, especially in strategic areas, energy, digital information and technology, environment and healthcare. In fact, India is ready to be the fulcrum of a new world order that is more just humane, industrious, beneficial to each other and empowering. In Jammu and Kashmir, when I took over 6 months ago as the Lieutenant Governor, I gave a mantra of 4 P's: peace, progress, prosperity and people first. That you can say is my vision, and 180 days later the narrative has changed. Development has replaced terror that our neighbor relentlessly exports. We have successfully and peacefully conducted the District Development Council election in Jammu and Kashmir. This has strengthened the grassroots democracy and finally established the 3-tier Panchayati Raj system, which was implemented in other states almost 28 years ago. Nevertheless, large turnout during the polls has demonstrated people's belief in the vibrant democracy and their urge to reap benefits of development that would come along with it. We have nurtured an ecosystem for incubating and unfolding startups in 15 sectors of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Last month, we unveiled a new industrial scheme 2021 that offers 28,400 crores, that is 3.89 billion US dollars incentives for attracting investment. The government has proposed 4 vital incentives in the new scheme: capital investment incentive, capital interest subvention, goods and service tax linked incentive, working capital interest subvention. We have also given service sector status of an industry in the new scheme. If you look at the latest economic survey, Jammu Kashmir service sector is growing at a historic pace and much ahead of states like Maharashtra, West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. We are taking industries to the block level to redress the disparities. The scheme is expected to create approximately 5 lakh jobs. With a view to help small and medium IT ventures in Jammu and Kashmir, we are strengthening our infrastructure and setting up new projects. Similarly, more than 54,000 crore, approximately 7.4 billion US dollars worth power projects will take off in due course of time to make the Union Territory self-reliant in the energy sector. You will be surprised to know that despite vast hydro energy resources, Jammu Kashmir has been a power deficit Union Territory, and in the last 70 years only 3,500 megawatt capacity was added. However, with these new projects, we aspire to generate more than 3,500 megawatt in only 4-5 years to make Jammu Kashmir power surplus. I believe in the words of 12th century Kashmiri historian Kalhan, who wrote in the famous Raj Tarangini, and I quote, "A lost opportunity is considered equivalent to the 3 worlds." And this is what exactly happened in the last 73 years. People were deprived of development, industries, good education, modern hospitals, infrastructure, and job opportunities. Friends, you will be surprised to know that a state like Bihar has 11 crore or 110 million population, which is about 9 times that of Jammu Kashmir, which has a population of 1 crore 30 lakhs, that is 13 million. But if you compare the population budget ratio, Jammu Kashmir receives more money every year than what Bihar gets. In 2020, Bihar state's total budget was slightly more than Rs 2 lakh crore, that is 27.43 billion US dollars. On the other hand, Jammu Kashmir's budget was more than 1 lakh crore, that is 13.7 billion US dollars, and this year it would be around 1 lakh 11,000 crore, that is 15.2 billion US dollars. The Union Territory has been getting a good amount of share from the National Exchequer, which I believe was far better than the most populous states. If you compare the number of government employees in Bihar and Jammu Kashmir, we have much more government employees than Bihar. It shows the zero attempts in the last 73 years to generate opportunities for youth. I must tell you, 70% of the Jammu and Kashmir population is below the age of 35, but due to lack of industries and private sector, the opportunity was limited to government jobs. Friends, due to absence of cohesive and integrated approach, socio-economic progress of individuals of the Union Territory was far from expectations. Conscious of consequences of ignorance, we are determined to strive for adequate development, better infrastructure, good education, modern hospitals, and job opportunities for people of the region. From the very first day in office, I decided on collective measures like increase in investment, development of infrastructure, encouraging industrialization, private partnership, building social security, and providing access to basic services for every person of Jammu and Kashmir. I have adopted a targeted approach to address the issues like poverty, health, nutrition, gender equality, quality education, best healthcare facilities, skill development of youth, and have ensured that benefits of government schemes reach the last mile. For equitable development, I gave a mantra of Jan Bhagidari, that is people's participation. Friends, let me tell you that no growth is possible without people's participation. For effective governance and delivery of public services, Jan Bhagidari is crucial, and as per my understanding of governance, I can tell you all that various policies, programs and schemes can transform the villages if the government plays the role of a facilitator and people take up the job of planner and executor. Within a span of 2 months, I and my team organized 2 flagship programs, Back to Village and My Town, My Pride. In Back to Village, we ensured that the government reaches to the doorstep of every villager and delivers the required services. Another important aspect of this program was to identify talented youth from the Jammu Kashmir villages and provide them with the financial assistance so that they become entrepreneurs. In 21 days, we have created 15,000 youth entrepreneurs, young boys and girls in the Union Territory. Another effort was to create a sporting culture among the youth, and to meet this objective, the government distributed sporting kits in each of the 4,290 panchayats. Similarly, during My Town, My Pride program, the government reached out to the people in the cities, and there too we identified youth who wanted to become entrepreneurs and provided them with resources. Friends, I know there are also challenges of unemployment, and you might have queries on Jammu and Kashmir students and youth integration with the rest of the country. I have adopted a multi-pronged strategy involving all necessary systematic interventions. We are focusing on 6 broader areas through a program, Mission Youth, which will focus on livelihood generation, education, skill development, career counseling, financial assistance, and recreation, including sports and entertainment. The intent is to provide a vibrant medium for engagement of youth into ambassadors of peace and development, and we have already started developing appropriate and adequate infrastructure. With an objective to enhance the skill and employability of the youth, we have recently partnered with the reputed institutions like Bombay Stock Exchange, ICICI Foundation, Tata Technology, Ashok Leland, and we are also in talks with Wipro, Reliance, Infosys, and Adani Groups to set up centers of excellence for our young boys and girls. We are also setting up multi-purpose district youth centers in all the 20 districts for youth engagement and empowerment. These centers will provide state-of-the-art facilities like digital library, professional counseling, auditorium, skill lab, coffee shops, entertainment hub like theater and music hall. A customized livelihood generation scheme for the youth of Jammu and Kashmir named Mumkin has already been launched for the youth to establish a sustainable livelihood in the transport sector. My goal is to reach out and engage about 80% of the young population of Jammu and Kashmir within the next 5 years and make it possible for them to be an engine of growth for the overall socio-economic transformation of the UT. In healthcare, we have recently launched universal health coverage scheme called Ayushman Bharat Sehat to provide free of cost insurance cover up to Rs 5 lakhs per household per year in the J&K without any socio-economic discrimination, which is the first of its kind anywhere in the country. I must tell you, there is also a record improvement in the key maternal and child health indicators as per the latest report of National Family Healthy Survey conducted by International Institute of Population Sciences. There is a 22 points decrease in neonatal mortality, 16 points decrease in infant mortality. I would say is unprecedented. It is unprecedented and encouraging. To revive the education sector, as many as 8 lakh students have been awarded pre, post and merit means scholarship, registering a record increase of 250% over the previous years. We have also started courses for foundational literacy in more than 1,500 schools through digital learning with physical activity embedded in regular classes. Friends, fast-paced transformation is thoroughly taking place in other verticals of education. With a focus on digital initiative and vocational training, we have already set up information and communication technology labs in most of our secondary and senior secondary schools. Our aim is 100% coverage of schools within 6 months. For gender equality, all girl schools will have the hostel and lab facilities. Friends, we are also taking all possible measures to substantially increase the farmers' income by 2022 in line with the national targets. During the past 6 months, we have created an inclusive policy ecosystem for transforming Jammu Kashmir's agriculture and allied sectors to increase the income of our farmers, create jobs and ensure food security. These initiatives include high-density apple plantation, new clusters of cold storage, setting up of farmer-producer organizations, promotion of intercropping, setting up of food processing units that would boost the economy and enhance the contribution of agriculture and allied sectors to gross domestic product of the Union Territory. I have seen many youths are taking interest in horticulture using latest technology. Artificial intelligence is considered an integral part of fourth industrial revolution There was an article I had gone through on the use of artificial intelligence in the strawberry growing. The issue was part of Davos agenda of the World Economic Forum held last month. The machine, it said, outperformed the traditional farmers in terms of return on investment. Obviously, intelligent sensors are more effective and precise at controlling the use of water and nutrients. About a couple of weeks ahead of the Davos summit, I was visiting a district called Samba in Jammu division. The scientists at the technical center were explaining to me a new technology they had developed, and my only suggestion to them was to take all the available tools from the lab to fields for trials. We need to ensure that every innovation, new research find its way for the larger benefit of the society and not confined to classrooms and labs. Friends, taking a leaf from my long journey of public services that started decades ago as a student leader, I would like each one of you to deep dive into your subject and think of yourself as a leader of tomorrow. Prepare yourself for the challenges of today and tomorrow. In each of you, I am reiterating that I see immense potential to grow yourself and contribute to your society and to your country at large. In India, the Upanishads declare, Aham Brahmasmi. I am absolute. This is true for youth. Youth power in every country will have its own ways of penetrating different and emerging sectors in the post-COVID world. And I am certain the younger generation knows too well how to chart their own course in unknown territory. As the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, I would like to see each child of the Union Territory prosper into a mature, successful and good human being. I would like to see that the potential of each young is harnessed in a way that everyone contributes towards the prosperity of this Union Territory. Together we will achieve. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you once again.